Hey, welcome back to another episode of Phil Super. So I kind of lied to you. I gotta be honest. I said we're gonna be working on the ducktail today, and that's not happening. Let me show you guys why really quickly. So I'd had a few issues getting the trunk open. I finally managed to because the switch doesn't work. I had to stick a pole back there or whatever and manually open it. It was a pain in the butt, so I'm not closing it again right now. But if we do set it down like this, that side is fine, but this side has like a big gap here, and it's just because the trunk isn't straight. So I think I'm gonna save a little bit and then get a new trunk because this one's all warped from being hit in the back. It may just be the side here not meshed in correctly, but looks like they did a pretty decent job. So pretty much the idea is we're just gonna have to get a new trunk. Although if you do look from the top here, you can kind of see, I don't know how you can see, but this is about a good like half-inch out. So it may not be the trunk, may be that I need to relocate the tail light or fix that. But anyway, long story short, that's gonna be a problem for another day. We're jumping straight into wide body, so we are going to go ahead, pull off this little flare, and just start getting right away with the wide body. And I'm going to show you guys the whole process and show you guys how to wide body your car. Now something nice that they already did is they already cut this a bit. They didn't at all clearing it out or weld this part or cutting and weld this part up. So them cutting it didn't actually do anything, but there's a good amount of gap up, so we're probably going to radius it even more out to get even more clearance for a wheel, because this is getting kind of close, and especially if we do go bags, then we're going to want this extra space because this will give me about an inch at the most to air out. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and let me grab the other flare and mock it up for you really quickly. So here's the other flare that we're going to be going with. It's this flare off my old Supra. It's going to work great for this situation, especially because I want to go with this kit, this flare style. I know PMZ makes a kit, but I'm not as big of a fan of the mesh and then fan out. I still think it looks great, but I just prefer this style, so this will help save me a lot of money as well. But anyway, for you guys at home who are going to be trying to wide body yourself, here's what we're going to be doing with this one. We need to mesh this up, make it sit flush, and then more importantly, we need to fill in gaps like this.
So filling the gaps will come in a bit, but the first thing that we need to do is we need to prep the flare. And doing this, we are going to fill the holes that were previously drilled out. Some of them just kind of got drilled out a bit wide as I took it on and off from doing the rookie mistake of using rivets instead of screws or something. So we're just grinding these down with a Dremel and sanding them. And then we're going to use fiberglass filler to go ahead and fill all the holes with structurally from the back. I use tape so that way it doesn't like bleed through too much. And then we're going to go back with a Bondo body filler over top and then make it all nice and smooth.
So you guys saw how I was putting all the fiberglass filler on the back. So this is the reason why. It's just because it'd be so much easier just to sand it, because we're just filling down just these little areas on top where the holes were all around the flare right now. And on the other side, the reason we had it taped is so that way only a little bit actually pops through each little hole there. So it's just enough that it'll fill it with the strength, and then we're going to go through and put the body filler on this side, which is why we had it sanded down or dremelled down in the beginning. So we have all these areas filled out, and now that with all these cracks and there's like a bunch of divots right in here, we're going to sand this down, sand down the areas like this just a little bit more, and then go ahead and fill them all with body filler, so that way it's nice and smooth, and we're essentially starting with a brand new flare. trying to tape the flare up in order to get it to set here. The problem is that I did Meguiar's ceramic spray on this, and it works a lot better than I thought it would. So pretty much the tape just isn't wanting to stick right now. But the way we're lining it up is I measured from the side skirt to the ground if it was propped up, and it's 2 inches exactly. So what we're doing is we're making sure that the gap between the flare and the wheel rim is 2 inches. So if we ever went air suspension, then when it airs out, it'd be perfectly flush with the wheel. So the reason why we need to tape it up now is in order to get it so that way we can get Cleco pins in order to hold it in so we can get the actual spot. So what's going to happen now is you're going to see me drill in. I'm going to drill through the hole right here first. I'm going to drill one hole in here, take a permanent marker pen, put a mark on the car itself, and then I'm going to drill the hole out on the car, separate with the flare out. The reason being is if you try to drill through both at once, there's a very good chance that as your drill bit is working through the metal, that will actually poke or grind a bigger hole, grind the hole out bigger in the flare itself, and we don't want that because then it'll make it so whatever you're using, whether you're using a rivet, a screw, whatever it is, it could make it so it won't fit the way you want it. So let's go ahead and take a drill through this hole right here. I'm going to do that off to the side, then go ahead and mark it up 2 inches from this, measuring, double checking, and then we'll go ahead and do a small drill in and get our Cleco pin in to start holding it up. Alright, sorry about that last part. I thought I put all the Cleco pins in, but I forgot I had the camera zoomed in up top here and I thought I got the whole thing. So my apologies, but here's what we're at so far. So we have almost all of them in. I didn't put this one in here because there's a bit of a gap in between here. It's like right in this little divot here. So what's going to happen is I'm going to need to grind down and just put a little filling behind it so that way it's even and it looks all right. As for the rest of it, it's not bad. There's a few gaps in between. This is kind of what you're going to expect if you're using a kit that's not made specifically for your car. So this is a S13 kit. This is a Nissan 300ZX. So it doesn't quite match up, but I'm still really happy with how it turned out. So here's the glaring issue. Back when I had the Supra, the gas cap was here, right in this spot, so I had to cut it out and put it there. But it's not with this car, so we're going to have to do a bit more fabrication in order to make this work. So what we're going to do next is we're going to fill this in, or not fill this in, sorry, we're going to vinyl wrap this area. I tried to use blue tape, but again, it won't stick. So I'm going to use vinyl wrap. I have some leftover satin, that's little small chunks, so don't worry. I'm not using up a roll that will be used for a car. So I'm just using up small chunks, putting some vinyl wrap behind, and then we're going to go ahead and try to fill this hole, or we're going to fill this hole. So before that, we do need to grind down some of this. As you can see, there's a bit of a bump. This sticks out, and then with this bottom part, you just need to know before you cut this or before you fill it, you need to know what shape you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fill it down just a bit curved, and we'll use that to kind of fill it out nicely. So that's the next plan. I'm going to go ahead and set you guys down. Once again, we're going to get to vinyl wrapping here, putting some foam to fill it up, grind it down, all the good stuff. I'll explain it as we go, as per usual. So sit back, enjoy the
All I'm using to fill the gaps is Great Stuff Gap Filler, just your basic off the hardware shelf thing. A lot of fun to spray, easy to carve as you'll see in the next video, and works exactly to what I needed to do.
Alright, so we finished up with the flare on this side. What we're going to do now is we're going to flip to the other side and get the other side flare done. I'm just going to set it down on a time lapse. You guys know the process. Just go ahead and enjoy the quick repetition of seeing it done on the other side. So you guys can, I don't know where I'm going with this, I'll be completely honest. So anyway, enjoy some time lapse. Alright, and we're all done with this side too. So everything is all set. The foam is setting. The holes are filled there. It's all rib nutted. Yikes. Sorry, Cleco pinned in, which is great. The only thing left to do is we need to attack this gas cap. That'll all come. Trimming that down will all come in the next video. This is kind of getting to, I don't know if we're probably going to be at the 15 to 18 minute mark, but I don't want to get too much longer than this, so this is kind of where we're ending. We have this flare, we have that flare, and this is the perfect ending spot for right now. But stay tuned for next time, because next time what we're going to do is we're going to finish the back flares. We're going to get that trimmed down, we're going to lay the fiberglass, we're going to get the cast cap all fixed out to the way we want it, and we're going to go ahead and paint everything so it matches fairly close to that. It's not going to be exact because we're going to eventually repaint the whole car, but it'll be to the point where you can say, hey, I got my flare done, painted to exactly where I want it. So stay tuned for that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this is really helping you guys out. I'm kind of going to start changing the video style to be more like this, where I'm going to be walking you through the process instead of just saying, hey, sit back and enjoy the Phil Super Show, because honestly that doesn't really do much for you, and I want to get you guys so you can understand and kind of see where I'm coming from and learn as I'm learning as well. So anyway, go ahead and check out the links down below to the Patreon. Even if you don't give or anything, I don't mind too much. I just want you guys to kind of see the visions, kind of see where you guys can be included. So if it is something, that's one way to support the channel. The other way, simply subscribe. Yeah, classic. All right, anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to ramble on too much. Don't forget to do the usual: dislike, unsubscribe, hate in the comments. Bye.